Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not to your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. Hey guys, DFG, Gideon's Flight. Hey, that little comment or those verses of scripture that I just read are from Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6. I could summarize that and say that, in all you're getting, get an understanding. And that leads me to the message that I want to share with you this particular day. But before I get into that message, I want to talk just for a quick second about anxiety. If you're not feeling anxiety, in this day and time in your life, then, you are definitely the exception to the rule. There's so much going on, in these evil days, that it's almost impossible to really not have genuine, concern for what is to come. I mean, we were warned, by the Messiah. We also were warned or have been warned by all the prophets and the many messengers that are out here today, reminding us that we need to redeem the time because the days are evil. In essence, we need to take a lot of caution. We need to be aware. We need to know what's going on around us, and we need to stay in a state of constant communication with Elohim. I'm talking about for all of us believers, and the world calls it prayer, but we call it relationship. Our relationship with Elohim is the most precious jewel or the most precious possession that we can ever dream of having. And in these days of anxiety, like I've been feeling for the last few days, without Elohim, I be honest with you, my sisters and brothers, I don't know what I would be doing. I don't know if I would have turned to alcohol or turned to drugs, suicidal thoughts. All those things are on the table when one is going through anxiety. Now, I'm not implying that, I'm prone to be, chasing alcohol in times of distress or drugs or suicidal. I just bring those things forward because those things are part of anxiety. A lot of us, when we're going through anxiety, those are some of the temptations that so easily, entice us. And the truth of it, none of those things will bring about any peace of mind. The only thing that can truly bring genuine peace of mind, contentment, is the relationship that we establish with Elohim. And unfortunately, that relationship has to be cultivated, daily. And that's what I mean, when I say, a relationship or communication, interaction, with Elohim. Again, the world calls prayer, but we don't call it prayer. Again, we call it a relationship. And that relationship has to be cultivated. Because if we don't cultivate that relationship, then times such as these, the times of distress, the times of anxiety, the times of worry, depression, the enemy, can come upon us unawares, like the book says, like a roaring lion, or a lion that's on the prowl, looking, for dinner. And we know that's the similitude of Satan and the demonic forces on this earth, that are here, and their sole purpose is to attack the kingdom of Elohim, the people of, Judah, Israel in particular. So, before I get again to the word, I just want to remind all of you guys who may be, dealing with some form of anxiety, just to remember, we have the ultimate peace giver. We are the children of the Most High. We have His Word. We have His Ruhuk to lead and to comfort us. But every now and then we have to be reminded of that. And there's nothing wrong with being reminded. But the best place to find, or the best place to seek out that remembrance, to search it out, again, is His book. You follow me? The world calls the Bible, but we know it, as the history book for the children of Israel. So I say again to you guys, if you're faced with anxiety, go to the Word, because you'll find strength there. Go to the Word, you'll find encouragement there. Go to the Word, you'll find peace there. Go to the Word, as Solomon reminds us in Proverbs, in all I get an understanding. You'll find understanding there, okay? And if you do that, if you're willing to do that, then rest assured, Yah will fulfill, every promise that was ever made to our forefathers. And those promises, through our forefathers, trickled down to us as an inheritance. And that is, He would always be with us. In all of our going and our comings, He would be there. So just take your mind away from, your worries, your troubles, perceived troubles or unperceived troubles. Many times, I guess I should say that we worry about things at times that really are just, I guess what they call it, figments of our imaginations. And that's easy that can happen to us very easily, because again, there's so many voices in the world now. There's so much information flowing and coming and going that it's easy to be despair, or to find yourself in a state of despair. Again, redeeming the time because the days are evil. But in all of that despair, we do have, a protector. We do have one who mediates on our behalf. We do have a place of restoration. Again, His Word. And last but not least, we have one another. The body of Elohim, the people, those of us who are in our right minds, those of us who understands the importance of fellowshipping, not only with Elohim, but one with another. Okay? So that's the solution that DFG is going to take. And again, it's a beautiful day out here where I am. I'm at, one of the big parks in the so-called Garden District of New Orleans. But it is very tranquil here. A lot of nature going on here. A lot of families out here doing whatever they're doing. And then there's me and Elohim. And so I'm grateful for having this opportunity to talk to you this afternoon from this particular place. And to be able to share, again, getting an understanding with you. Okay? So let's go back to, let me read it verbatim to you from the book. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5. Trust in Elohim with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. Simply means, look, don't trust your gut. Don't trust your heart. Don't trust your worldly wisdom, your worldly information. That's what it's saying. Don't lean to your own understanding. Don't trust your worldly education, your religious education. What you want to trust is the word of Elohim, as forewritten and foretold, or as pre-written and foretold by the prophets. That's documented in our laws and the statutes and the commandments of the Torah. That's, again, written by our leaders, by our ancestors. Great kings like David, great men like Solomon, renowned men like Samuel, Jeremiah, Ezekiel. You follow me? Samuel, etc. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. We want to go there and get an understanding. Amen? We don't want to lean to the understanding that this world brings, because this world understanding it comes with a price of soul. Love the world, the love of Elohim is not in you. You trust the world, you will not find Elohim there. Although you may have been told that. No, you have to find Him where He tells you to look. And He's telling His people in these last and evil days to go to the book, to broaden your understanding, to educate yourself in Him, in us as a people. How to find our place in this kingdom to ensure that we get to the next kingdom to come, in the new earth, that we're going to govern, that we're going to be the head and no longer the tail. All right? Now, that being said, I'll finish verse 6. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He'll direct your paths. And I think that's simply understood. Just acknowledging him and asking him, you know, to be your caregiver, your caretaker. You know, recognizing that, you know, without his blessings, you wouldn't have bread on your table if you have bread. Without his blessing, you wouldn't have a roof over your head if you have a roof over your head. Without his blessings, you wouldn't have, you know, the daily necessities of life that you have, if you have those things. But more important than any of those things, you have salvation. And without his blessings, none of us would have that. Amen? So, I want to take you on a journey through the book. Now, many of you guys have read the story of Adam and Eve in the book of Genesis. And just recently, in a message, I was talking in terms of something that Adam had said. And it had been attributed to Elohim. But Elohim didn't say it. Adam said it. But what's interesting, when you go to the book of Jasher, which is the book of Genesis, but the book of Genesis explained. Again, the book of Jasher, which is the book of Genesis. But the book of Genesis, let me say this slow and clear. The book of Genesis explained. It's broken down. And there are a lot of things that Genesis generalized that Jasher takes the time to, what would be the proper word to be, you know, to break it down for us. I guess break it into smaller pieces so that we can truly get an understanding. And all thy getting, get an understanding. Correct? You just heard me, your brother, quote that. So instead of reading you from Genesis, the story of Adam and Eve and Cain and Abel, I'm going to read it to you from Jasher. And I want you to notice the distinct differences. And that's, again, why we should study. We should take the time out. We should take time out every day to spend before Elohim, seeking knowledge, seeking understanding, so that he can direct our paths. In other words, he can show us the right way, the straight way, the blessed way. Amen? So let's go to Genesis. I'm sorry. Jasher. And I'm going to start reading to you from chapter 1. But remember, you know, think Genesis. But think Genesis explained versus Genesis summarized. And I want you to notice some of the distinct details that were left out of Genesis. In my opinion, purposely. I think the enemy of man, talking about us, the sons and daughters of Adam, the enemy of man intentionally removed the book of Jasher. Because he knew that had we seen some of these fine details, then we would have made better decisions, or we would have been able to make better decisions about who Elohim is and what was it that Elohim was concerned about with the behavior of the first man and the first woman and their children. Amen? So follow along. I think you're going to enjoy this, okay? And we won't be long. Maybe. Praise Yah. We'll see what the Rahuk has for us. Okay? All right. The book of Jasher, chapter 1. And Elohim said, let us make man in our image, and after our likeness. And Elohim created man in his own image. And Elohim formed man from the ground, and he blew in his mouth, in his nostrils, the breath of life. And man became a living soul endowed with speech. Amen. And the Lord said, and Elohim, it is not good for a man to be alone. I will make him a helper, a helpmeet. Sisters, this is where you came in on the scene. Okay? So remember that. There's a purpose for you, sister. All right? That purpose, as Yah has just described, and all you're getting, get an understanding. Now here's where you get an understanding, sisters. You, talking about the daughters of Zion, the daughters of Israel, the tribe of Judah, your purpose, your role, the reason you were created was to be a helpmate to your men. Not any man, not mankind, you know, kind of men. No, your brothers, your Israelite brothers, is the very purpose of your life. It's why Yah brought you here. Any other purpose that you're trying to fulfill, you're in conflict and you're being contrary to the truth. And your brother has to tell you that. So if you have a purpose in life where men are not necessary, or you think that you don't need a man, or that it's all about you, and that a man is here for you, then you are being misled. You need to increase your understanding. You need to increase your understanding. You need to go out and seek more knowledge. You need to turn to Yah, and get the right knowledge. Not the knowledge of this world, the knowledge of Elohim. Again, you were created with a purpose in mind, with an intention in mind. In essence, you were so necessary that Yah provided you to his first man. So that his first man and every man afterwards, talking about the men of Elohim, would not only not be alone, but not would have to carry the burden of the world on his shoulders. Okay? You're there to help. Praise Yah. Let us continue. He says, and I will make him a helpmeet. And the Lord caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took away one of his ribs, and he built flesh upon it. And he formed it, and he brought it to Adam, that flesh. He formed it, he made it to look like you, sisters. So all those curves you have, you can thank Elohim for those curves, all right? For all those things that you have that make your man smile at you delightfully, you can thank Elohim for that. Amen? Amen? Because he formed you in a way that your man would appreciate the help that he provided for him. Praise Yah. And brothers, hey, you love it for a reason. I'm talking about the farm right now, okay? Praise Yah. Let's continue. Verse 4. And the Lord caused the deep, I'll read that again. And Elohim, the Lord, Elohim caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam. And he slept. And he took away one of his ribs. And he built flesh upon it. And he formed it. And he brought it to Adam. And Adam awoke from his sleep. And behold, a woman was standing before him. So when he opened his eyes, he saw you, sisters. Amen? He saw the likeness of you. Wow. Sometimes, my sisters, I wonder if you really realize how valuable you really are. I'm talking about in your right state of being. I mean, think about it. This man had never seen anything like you before. He'd only, really, if he had to see himself, he probably had to look in a body of water or something to see his reflection. And yet, for the first time, he gets to see something other than the things that, the things that Yah created. I'm talking about the animals and the beasts and the birds and the fish. The first time he gets to see something of his similitude, it was you. When he opened his eyes, he saw beautiful you, made perfect by Elohim, from him, I might add. And never forget that, sisters. You came out of the man. The man didn't come out of you. You came out of him. All right? You're always a part of your men. Always. Don't let this evil world tell you that you don't need your man. That your man is insufficient, unnecessary. That your man is unworthy. If your man is unworthy, you are unworthy. Because you came out of him. Whatever curse you place on your man, you place on yourself. Whatever love you distribute to your man is given back, or is called loving yourself. You know, when Yah said that we should love our neighbors as ourselves, at least when he put that in Yeshua's mouth, think about it. You don't think he was talking about you too, sister? So he says that when you love your man, you love yourself, because your man was your first neighbor. You were his first neighbor as well. Again, never forget that. If you want to see all of the greatness that you can be, you want to experience all the greatness that Yah had in mind when he took you from man, then understand what I said. Embrace it, cherish it, never let it go, and never let anyone ever dissuade you against your man ever again. Amen? Brothers, same thing applies to you. All right. Verse 5. And he said, now he is Adam, not Elohim. Adam said this. This is the next thing Adam said. Oh, this is the first thing. First of all, when Adam saw you, sister, you know, I'm sure he was amazed. Because, again, you know, in your natural beauty, there is no woman on this planet, or womankind on this planet, more beautiful than you. All the other heathens, beasts, Gentiles, you know, desire you. All of them. But they don't know what to do with you. They think you are here for their sexual pleasures, to fulfill their fantasies. That's what they think of you. But your man, he knows better than that. He knows that you are him and he is you. You follow me? And so he will never, ever just sexualize you. Not if he's in his right mind. And if he's in his right mind, he's going to see you as his sister. Or as he sees his sister. As he sees his mother. As he sees his daughter when he's in his right mind. Oh yes, and as he sees his woman. If you are his. Amen? But the enemy does not have the soul for that. Because they were not created in the image and the likeness of Elohim. They came from, you know, some other source. Let's leave it at that. This is not the day to talk about the seeds of Satan. Okay? We're talking about the people of Elohim right now. Amen? Let's go on. Verse 5. And he said, this is bone, Adam. This is bone of my bone. And she shall be called a woman. So Adam was the first person to call you woman. Your man was the first person to give you a spoken description. When he gave Adam speech, the first words came out of his mouth when he saw you was, this is bone of my bone. Amen? And I'm going to call her woman. Amen? And this has been taken from men. And Adam called her Eve. So Adam even named you, sisters. Your man named you. Just like a parent names a child today, you were named by your man. Eve got her name from Adam, not from Elohim. Your man named you. Amen? So your name is forever tied into his words. Amen? Let's continue. But she was the mother of all living. And then Elohim blessed them and called their names Adam and Eve in the day that he created them. And Elohim said, be fruitful, multiply, and fill the earth. Now that commandment was given to both of them, not just to Adam. See, if you read Genesis, you could walk away with the interpretation that that direction was given to Adam solely. But when you look deeper into the message, or into that directive, in the book of Jasher, both were given that. So sisters, you are commanded to be fruitful and multiply as well as your men. Together. Amen? That's a commission that we were both given. Praise Yah. Let's go on. And Elohim took Adam and his wife, and he placed them in the Garden of Eden to dress it, and to keep it. And he commanded them and said unto them, from every tree of the garden you may eat, but from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat. For in the day that you eat of it, you shall surely die. And what he was talking about in this death was a separation. And I think that, you know, many of us don't understand when we reject Elohim, or when we choose the things of this world over Elohim, you are in a place of separation, or death is more likely called, easily called. We're all eternal beings. So all of us are going to exist eternally. If you can hear my voice, you will exist eternally. The question is, where will you spend eternity? But you're going to exist into infinity. Some of us to the new earth that's coming. And unfortunately, some of us condemned to a miserable life in the lake that burned it with fire and brimstone. Amen? You know, and can I say this? And we're going to get back to the message. But see, the enemy hears me talking about Satan. Because when I began this message, it was peaceful and it was quiet. And yet he sent his heathens, his man heathens, and they're all around, they're stopping, they're listening. Because see, Satan knows the voice of Elohim. He said, well, if I be lifted up, I draw all men. And I say that, you know, that way unto me. Even Satan, when he hears the voice of Elohim. The book says, even the demons believe and tremble. Right? What did James say? 2:19? He said, thou believest there is one Elohim? He said, you do well. But even the demons are devils, as he said, believe and tremble. And the only way those devils are going to go, they're going to have to hear me call the name of Elohim and identify that I know they're there, even though I don't have to look at them. My Rahu knows they're there. But let them listen on, for Yah will judge them, because they will have been so close, but yet so far. Amen? Praise Yah. Let's continue. We will not be deterred, we will not be disturbed, and we will not be disrupted. Amen? I speak that for us, you and myself, and the word. Hallelujah. Amen. Verse 7. And verse 8. And when Elohim had blessed and commanded them, he went from them. Now think about that. See, we're blessed of the Most High. We've always been a blessed people when we stay inside of his commandments, because he says he commanded them. Think about it. Here again, he says, and he commanded them. Verse 8. And when Elohim had blessed and commanded them. See, when we say laws, statutes, and commandments, we're only saying what Elohim said. The commandments, command. The operative word here is command. We are commanded. If we want to have the blessings of Elohim, we have to obey the commandments of Elohim. And his first commandment to us was what? Not to disobey his words. Amen? He told them, don't eat from the tree. And if they ate from that tree, what would happen to them? They would die, or they would be separated. They would no longer be able to walk in his presence. See, evil and sin, if you want to live that way, you're going to have to live by yourself, brothers and sisters. You're going to have to live outside the gates. Revelation 22:14, I think, talks about that. 15 says all out the gate are idolaters, or witches. What is that? Idolaters, witches, those who practice the occult, murderers, those who commit abominations like homosexuality, killing their children, aborting their babies, and all of those who love a lie. If you're gonna not keep Elohim's commandments, you're not going to be blessed, and you're going to be doomed to be on the outside of the gates, and you're going to be given over to your own craftiness, for lack of a better word. You're going to be given over to your own path. And we talked about that before, or we read it before. Solomon warned us in 14:12 Proverbs. There's a way that seemeth right to a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. Excuse me. Praise Yah. So when you see the word commandment, you shouldn't frown from that. You should embrace commandment, because it allows you to be blessed. Yah is telling us to keep his commandments so he can bless us, brothers and sisters. The reason we're under this curse of judgment, right, because we rejected his commandments, as our forefathers did. Our forefather and foremother. Our first mother and our first father rejected the commandments. They rejected Yah's word. And the result was a separation from Yah, or what the world calls cursed of Yah. Amen? But Yah, we didn't set out that way. Yah set us out to bless us. And he will bless us again. Again, if we're willing to obey his commandments. Let's continue. Amen? I'll read verse 8 one more time. And when Elohim had blessed and commanded them, he went from them. And Adam and his wife dwelt in the garden according to the command which Elohim had commanded them. Amen? So there's no such thing living your own way, sisters, brothers. Again, there's a way that seemeth right to a man, but the end thereof is the ways of death. You can go your own way, but you'll be destroyed. Sometimes a lot sooner than you should have been, but ultimately you will be. All of us, if we go our own way. There's only one way. Yeshua reminded us that Yah is the way, the truth, and the life. No man gets to Yah unless we come by through him, which means keeping his commandments. Amen? Verse 9. And the serpent, which Elohim had created with them in the earth. So Satan was the serpent. Was Satan and serpent is just those words are transformative. They're the same word. Because see, Satan can shape shift. If you go farther in the book of Jasher, you'll find out what I'm talking about. Satan can take up on different images. He can look like a woman. He can make himself look like an old man, a young woman, an old woman. He shape shifts. He has many faces. And that's why you have to be careful when you're out there. You know, you've heard me talk many times before. You know, a lot of sisters have hooked up with men, unbelieving men, and these men murdered them, killed them. They engaged their own murderer. They didn't know it at the time. It was Satan in disguise, looking charming to them, handsome, you know, hard-working, a lot of money, whatever it was, you know, good in bed. I mean, that should never be a standard, sisters, by which you judge a man to be your Adam. But unfortunately, many of you sisters, you know I'm right. You're guilty of that. You know, you'll trade a good man with a good heart for someone who's good in bed, not realizing that Satan knows how to have sex. Yeah, he can get in bed with you. But you see, when sex is over with, you're going to find out what he thinks about you. And most of you know I'm right. When you have a man of this world, what happens when he's done with you? When he did his business on you, sort of like Celie said that Mr. in Color Purple would do when he would be screwing her or having sex with her. He did his business on me, like he was shitting on her. And if you with that man just because of sex, that's all you're doing. And I'm going to say this to you in the most loving way I can say it to you. All you're doing is letting him shit on you. And when he gets tired of shitting on you, he's going to go take a shit on someone else. And you're going to be left feeling, yes, shitty for it. Find you a man who loves Elohim. Give yourself to that man. Because that's the only kind of man that can give himself to you, sisters. Amen? I digress. That was a public service announcement. Amen. Verse 10. And the serpent enticed and persuaded the woman. You see, there you go right there, sisters. A lot of these guys who are enticing you, flattering you with their little toys, their little gadget, with their smooth words. I want to say that's in the book of Psalms, chapter 58. The book says his words were smooth as butter. But murder was in his heart. His word were silk as all. But, you know, he was a man of war. In other words, he was evil. He was a charmer. He was an enticer. Amen? Let's go on. And the serpent enticed and persuaded the woman to eat from the tree of knowledge. And the woman hearkened to the voice of the serpent. And she transgressed the word of Elohim. See, sister, when you fall in feminism, the words of men, all these government mandates, allowing the government into your homes, to destroy your family, to divide your children from their fathers, to divide you from your man, you're hearkening to the voice of Satan. when you take your man before this wicked judicial system, who you know hates your man? You're listening, and you're being enticed by Satan. All of you sisters know that this judicial system hates your man. Think about that. And let me give you a quick little validation of that statement. The system hates your man so much, sisters, that America, this country, Babylon, represents 5% of the world's population. I want you to think about that. 95% of the world is not America. 95% of the world. America represents 5% of the world's population. But guess what? America holds or imprisons 25% of the world's incarcerated. So 25% of all people in prison are here in America. 1 out of 4 prisoners of the whole planet are imprisoned in America. A country that only has 5% of the world's population has 25% of the world's prisoners. Now, inside of those prisons, 60% of those prisoners are men of color, your men. 60% of those men are your men, your fathers, your brothers, your sons. That's why you should stay away from that wicked judicial system and keep them out of your house, out of your business, out of your affairs. Because think about it. If 1 out of 4 prisoners on the planet are here in America, and 6 out of 10 of the prisoners in America are men who look like you, sisters, what is that telling you? That Satan is imprisoning your men to destroy down your purpose. Because what was your first commandment? What was the commandment that was given to you and your man? Be fruitful, right? And multiply, right? Replenish the earth. Sister, you can't be fruitful. You can't multiply and replenish this earth without your man. And see, Satan knows that. So the way to keep you from being fruitful and multiplying, he locks your man up. And not only does he lock him up, he locks your man up at his most productive years in terms of reproduction. Because the majority of your men who are locked up are at the age of 19 to about 34, 35 years old. That is their prime reproduction years. And so instead of them being with you and fulfilling their purpose that was commanded of them by Elohim, they're in prison being humiliated, marginalized, beaten down, homosexualized, while you sit outside by yourself, having to tolerate the enemy's resources, even the enemy's men, because as you say, you can't find a good one. So it's time for you to help yourself. Don't look to this world to help you build family. You have to take that initiative on your own. Help him. I'm not talking about, what is the word? Tolerating, his folly. I'm not saying that. That's why I said, if he doesn't love Elohim, he's not walking and he's not obeying the commandments, then don't embrace him. Because he's being enticed by Satan to distract you from your purpose of Elohim. Your purpose is to help a man. If this brother does not want to stand in his role and replenish and multiply and be fruitful in every way, then let him go astray. Let him be a castaway. Reject him. Turn your head from him. But don't turn your head from your men. Turn your head from the wicked amongst your men. Amen? But understand, Satan has a contract out on your man. His plan is to kill him. And if he cannot kill him, is to lock him up, to make sure that he genocides himself because he can't reproduce. That he ensures that you gentrify yourself, not gentrify, genocide himself, genocide yourself because you can't reproduce. So the daughter you should have, you don't have. The son you don't have, you don't have. Because either you or him or both were falling for the enticement that Satan started with our forefather and mother, Adam and Eve. They listened to him by disobeying the commandment of Elohim. And many of us are doing the same thing right now. History repeating itself. How the saying goes, those who forget their past are doomed to repeat it. Look at our situation. And again, if you don't think that there's a conspiracy against you and your man, sister, then explain to me, again, why one nation that represents 5% of the world's population has 25% of the world's prisoners, and inside that 25% of the world's prisoners, 6 out of 10 of those men are your men and your women. Think about it. That is conspiring against the people. They are confederate against us, as David said in Psalms 83. The whole world is confederate against the people of Elohim. And the people of Elohim are falling because we're being enticed by the serpent. We're being enticed by the world system. The lust, cares of this world, the desires of this world, instead of the desire of Elohim. Amen? Praise Yah. All right. Let's continue on here. Verse 10. You see, I told you that Satan heard. Look how quiet it's become. See, that's the power of the Rahuk. You see how quiet it is now? You can see when he said, if I be lifted up, he's going to draw all men, but the demons going to fear and they're going to tremble. And they're going to shut their mouths. They're going to go about their business. So sisters, again, if you don't want a wicked man in your house and you so happen to get one because you didn't realize how wicked he really was, or you were being wicked and you settled, then go to the book. Start lifting up Elohim. I guarantee you it won't be long before he'll hit the door. You don't have to go get another man and be doing some side door foolishness, because you'll get yourself killed doing that. In these wicked days and time, that man will kill you. You know, a situation just happened right here in this city a couple of days ago. Young 19-year-old girl, her boyfriend. She had a little girl, 2-year-old daughter. This man stabbed this woman and beat this woman with a hammer to death. Now, I know some of you say, well, that's why I don't want no man. Now, see, now there's Satan in your head lying to you. We already established what kind of man do you have in your bed. What kind of man whose stead you're in, whose homestead you're in. Who are you walking with? It's either a man of Elohim or a man of this world. In essence, a man who's led by Satan. That's the only two choices all of us have. Men, same thing. You either got a woman who's led by Elohim or you got a woman who's led by Satan. Who's in your homestead? And the same thing to you, brothers. If you got a wicked woman in you, start lifting up Elohim. Start living by the law, statutes, and commandments of Elohim. She will leave. I guarantee you she'll leave. And she'll leave quick, too. But if you don't, she'll hang around and hang around and hang around until she destroys you. Sisters, the same thing. He'll hang around and hang around till he takes all of your life, literally and spiritual life, from you. Don't tolerate it. Sister, and again, sister, I'm not talking about getting into no physical altercation with no man. And brothers, same thing. We're not talking about getting into no physical altercations. The word is the most powerful weapon known to mankind. Just get in the word. He'll go. Get in the word. She'll go. Trust me on that. And live it. Speak it and live it. And not just when you feel like it or when you get angry. All the time. Because see, he'll wait for you to not be angry, and then he'll start charming you, and he's going to catch you unawares, and he's going to hurt you. Sister, same thing, brother. If you're inconsistent in your walk before Elohim, Satan's going to put that woman right in the right spot in your time of folly. And just as Eve caught Adam distracted. And what did he do? He hearkened to Satan. I know many of you are saying, well, no, he listened to Eve. No, he didn't. Eve was just the vessel that Satan used to get the man to disrespect Elohim's commandments. Enough of this women shaming with that. Women got enough shit to deal with on their own. They don't need us to add to their shit. We're not going to do no more. Let's stop the woman shaming. Yeah, let's call out folly. Let's call out unrighteousness. No question about that. But why are you shaming her? It makes no sense. She's your sister. She came from you. So if she's shameful, then maybe you're shameful too. Like attracts like, right? Whoremongers and whores typically sleep together. Yeah, I want you to think about that. I want you to let that marinate for a moment. Who are you hating? When you hate her, who are you hating, brother? Let me tell you again. If you don't know who you're hating, or if you want some clarity, or you still think it's out, no. You hate yourself. She came from you, whether you like it or not. She's still coming from you, I might add. It's your seed that impregnated her. It was her fault. It was a man's seed that impregnated her mother, which brought forth her. So at the end of the day, she's still coming from a man. Now, what you going to do about that? It's a hard question, but it's an easy solution. Obey the commandments of Elohim. And if she don't obey, let Elohim run her ass away. And he will. Unrighteous women don't want to be with a righteous man. She might tell you she wants a good man, but if she's unrighteous, she don't want no good man. That's bullshit. She'll be talking before you know, oh, you too boring. I want to have fun. We don't have no fun. We don't do anything. I want a bigger house. I want a nicer car. I want some clothes. I want to get my hair fixed. Don't trust me. You stay on the word. You do what Yah tell you to do. She'll go away, because she gonna want that world stuff. And when she realizes that the man of Elohim will take care of her and provide for her, but he damn sure is not gonna solicitate her love by giving her shit to appease her to keep her happy. If the word of Yah is not enough, brothers, you don't have it in you to please her. Sister, same thing. If the word of obeying the commandments of Elohim does not please your man, you don't have enough in you to please him. Amen? Because he's not looking to be pleased. He's looking to consume to his own lust and desires. Same thing for her. She's looking to consume to her own lust and desires. Praise Yah. Let's get back to the word. Amen? Verse 10. And the serpent enticed and persuaded the woman to eat from the tree of knowledge. And the woman listened to the voice of the serpent, and she transgressed the word of Elohim. And she took from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and she ate. And she took from it and gave it also to her husband, and he did eat. Now, I don't read in there what she forced him to do a damn thing. She was enticed. He was enticed. Amen? And Adam and his wife transgressed the commandments of Elohim, which he commanded them. And Elohim knew it. See, a lot of you think you're doing your little dirt stuff and no man sees you. You're doing stuff in the dark. You think you're getting away with it. No, you're not, sister. No, you're not, brother. Elohim knew what they did before they knew he knew what they did. See, Genesis tells you that Elohim kind of just stumbled around. He was just hanging out. You know, him and Adam in the cool of the evening. They normally got together and chit-chat. You know, how was your day, bruh? You know, et cetera, et cetera. As though, you know, Yah had no knowledge of what they had already done. No, it says right here. Adam and his wife transgressed the command of Elohim, which he commanded him, And Elohim knew it, and his anger was kindled against them, and he cursed both of them. He was pissed at them, for lack of a better word. That's how Yah feels when we don't keep his commandments. He's pissed at us. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't think I want my Creator pissed at me. That could be very, very hazardous to my health. I think we all would agree. The thing that created you, the entity, the power that created you, Elohim, now is angry at you. Can you imagine what could happen? Will you give that any thought, any consideration? What could happen? What the book say, that what you do in the dark will become into the light? What light? Oh, I know the world told you, well, your boyfriend going to find out, your man going to find out, your woman going to find out. That's not the light. The light is Elohim. Elohim is going to let you know. He know. And when he does, all hell going to break loose in your life. Brother and sister. Both of you all. And if you're co-conspiring together and both of y'all walking in the darkness and both of y'all walking in the wickedness, just think double for your trouble. Okay? If both of y'all are conspiring together to do your wickedness, disobeying the laws, disobeying the commandments, going about it your own way, the way that you want to do it, just understand that that anger of Elohim is going to be doubled up on both of y'all. Because according to the book, he cursed both of them at the same time. He didn't just curse one. He didn't give them one portion. He gave them two portions. Let's go. And Elohim drove them that day from the garden, and to till the ground for which they were taken. And they went and they dwelled in the east of the garden. And Adam knew his wife. In other words, he had sex with her. And Adam knew his wife. And she bore him 2 sons and 3 daughters. I bet you didn't read that in the book of Genesis. Oh, and by the way, do you notice there was no long drawn out conversation with Adam blaming Eve and Eve blaming the devil and the devil nobody to blame? Did you also notice that there's no reference here about when a woman is having a baby that her birth pains are a curse? See, there are lies that we're being told, guys, sisters. There are lies we have been told. There have been truths omitted from the book to keep us in darkness, to keep us blaming one another, instead of equally taking responsibility for our behavior. Understanding that you're not going to blame the devil. There's no devil made you do it. Because if you read here, y'all don't even reference Satan in that regard. He doesn't say he cursed Satan. Let me read it to you again. Verse 11. Adam and his wife transgressed the commandments of Elohim, which he commanded them, and Elohim knew it, and his anger was kindled, means he was burning mad against them, and he cursed them. And Elohim drove them that day from the garden, and he made them work for a living. And they went and they dwelled in the east of the garden. And Adam had sex with his wife, and she had 2 sons and 3 daughters. Nothing about Satan, nothing about pain and childbearing, nothing like that. Not here. Those are lies by Catholicism. Satan used the Catholic Church to add things to the book. That's why I say in all you're getting, get an understanding. That's why you need to get all these books. Or at least the books that are in, at least get the apocryphal books. You know, you got people out telling, well, Jasher, the book of Jasher is not a canonized book. Well, who canonized the books? The Catholic Church canonized the books. I just told you the Catholic Church took certain things out the book and added certain things in the book. And now all your other religions are teaching the same lies and half-truths. All your other religions are teaching what the Catholics told them to teach or permit them to teach. Better said. That's why you got to come out of religion. All of it is soothsaying. All of it is occultic. All of it is just a big giant cabal, a cult. All of it is controlled by Satan. But interestingly enough, look at what the book says. When you really look at the book closely, and the book of Jasher is an ordained book. Samuel referenced the book, and our prophet Joshua referenced this book, Jasher. You've heard me talk. I want to say is you'll find it in Joshua 10 and 13, and Samuel, I think 1 and 13 or 1 and 12. 1 Samuel, I think it's 1 Samuel you'll find it, 2 Samuel. But it's there. They both reference the book of Jasher. So this is a legitimate book. This is the book your forefathers studied out of. All of our ancestors, all the men and women of Israel studied out of the book of Jasher. None of them studied out of the book of Genesis. Genesis came on the scene around 325 AD, give or take. That's when Genesis came on the scene. But if you want the original words of Elohim, the words that were written in the beginning by Moses, you need the book of Jasher. You need the book of Jasher. Because that book has not been altered to the degree that Genesis, plus it leaves out a lot of important details and it puts a lot of lies in there. It tells you that Elohim made the comment about bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh, when really Adam said that. Amen? I can stop right here, and I think most of y'all say, goodness gracious, DFG, thank you. At least I pray that you would say thank you to Elohim. And if, maybe, recognizing me for bringing it forward. But to the glory goes to Elohim. Even I know that. Amen? But y'all wanted you to know that. So I'm going to tell it to you, sisters and brothers. This story, you know what I'm saying, is a real story. This is our real history. Amen? And we have to embrace this if we stand a chance. Again, they are genociding us. They are genociding our people. You heard me talk about the prison numbers. Drug addiction, alcoholism, abortion. Remember we talked about 50 billion black babies were killed over the last 40 years. 50 million, I'm sorry. 50 million black babies have been aborted thus far. And they're still encouraging our women to abort their children. They're still doing it to this very day. And now they're talking about giving us the it. Y'all know what the it is. And making us the target of the it. Without any kind of, validation that what they're doing is not going to harm us in the long run. They have done no validation. They just take my word for it. That's like Eve taking Satan's word for it when he told her ain't nothing going to happen to her by disobeying the commandments. They shouldn't have believed the devil. And I'm telling you guys right now, you better stop listening to the devil. It sounds good. They're enticing you. Free lottery tickets. What else? Free meals. Free concert tickets. Free access. You're able to travel. All kinds of things they're enticing you with. But you should be asking yourself, why are you so, nice to me all of a sudden? Why you want to do all this good for me? You've never done it before, Satan. Biden, Satan, and the rest of them demons up there with him, these governor demons and mayor demons, and all the rest of them who are pushing that agenda. Why me? Why all of a sudden y'all love us so much? Now why are you so thoughtful about me? You never have been before. Your own stats say you never given a damn about us. We're the poorest, sickest, according to you, most incarcerated, most aborted. Right? So why now? What makes me so deserving of your empathy, Satan? Brothers, this is where you need to step up, by the way. Men of Judah, Israel, you better step up and save your families now. You better open up your mouth. You better start talking. But see, the reason why many of you are going along with this thing, because you're not in this thing. Because see, if you were in this thing, you would know to reject that thing. You would know to reject Satan and his helpers, knowing that he's a liar. He's the father of a liar. His seed are liars. But because you're not here, you're listening to him. I'm talking about the God of this world, the municipalities, the governments of this world, the principalities. of darkness, the rulers of darkness. Go back, Ephesians chapter 6. We don't rush, you know what I'm saying? He's telling you, spiritual wickedness in high places are leading these devils to encourage us to reject Yah's knowledge and take their knowledge for salvation, to be safe. Right? To be safe. What did Kamala say? You want to be a good neighbor? You love your neighbor? You want to be a good neighbor? Do it. I dare you. Do it. The wicked, dirty, low-down, mass incarceration Attorney General of California has the audacity to quote our words to us. That is nothing but Satan. And if you're listening and you obey that, then you deserve the same curse that befell our first mother and father. You deserve the same curse, and you're going to get it too. Watch. See if I'm right. See if I'm right. Time will tell. DFG will still be around because DFG ain't doing it. So I'm going to be around to tell you about it. Y'all willing. If I'm not here, then he'll have another prophet or prophetess. Well, not a prophetess, but a prophetess. A woman of, somebody going to tell you shouldn't have listened. It'll be written in your book of life. Oh yeah, it'll be written in your book of life that you obeyed Satan. You trusted Satan instead of Elohim, who said that I would never leave you, that I would never forsake you. I am with you always. If you obey my statutes and commandments, none of these diseases will come upon you. I think that's Deuteronomy chapter 28. He said none of those diseases, those illness and all those things, he said none of that will come upon you if you obey my commandments. But he said if you don't, all of these diseases are going to come upon you. All these plagues are going to come upon you. And it will destroy you because I'm going to curse you. So what you going to do with that? What are you going to do with that information, my sisters and my brothers? I know what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to heed the word of Elohim. I don't give a damn what they try to incentivize me with. I'm not doing it. It does not matter. They don't have anything of this world that I'm willing to sell my soul for. You heard me right. They don't have anything they can entice me to do that because I'm not selling my soul for nothing. My soul is priceless. What do Yeshua tell those listeners when he was talking to the masses? I think it was 7,000 who came to listen to him. He said, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? He told them it profits them nothing. He told them that there's nothing on this world that's worth the price of their soul. Their souls are the most valuable possession that they had, and that they should fight unto death to keep it. That's what he said. That's exactly what he told them. And that's exactly what I'm reminding you of, my sisters and brothers. You don't let anybody alter your mind to take away your soul by their enticements, by putting fear in your heart. Amen? We're not the fearful or the unbelieving. We're not fearful of man, and we believe in Elohim. How about that? That's enough for us to resist any temptation of Satan and his seed, his children, his helpers. We don't fear any man, amen, and we trust in Elohim. So we believe and we're not afraid. We're courageous people. We're courageous women and we're courageous men when we're in our right mind. And the only way for us to stay in our right mind, we have to stay inside of our book and be obedient to our Creator, to our Father, to our Master. Amen? For Him and the only one who has ever loved us. This world don't love the so-called black man. They know it. Yeah, there's anomalies here and there, one or two of them that shows up and comes out from the rest of the heathens. And they're sincere. But as a group, as a general group, these other nations hate the so-called black man. They hate us. And they hate us with a perfect hatred. And largely because they're not us. I don't care what they say. They set all these traps, all these snares, and when our people fall into their traps and fall into their snares, they have the audacity to criticize us and condemn us and convict us. When they set the trap, when they did the enticing, as their father, the devil, encouraged them to do and still encourages them to do. Amen? That is the truth. Amen. You know, brothers and sisters, I think I've given you enough. I was going to go further. Y'all willing, the next time we get together to talk, I'm gonna go back into what actually happened with Cain and Abel. See, the story that we heard about Cain and Abel, that's an overview, but that story is a lot deeper than that. You follow me? And you know, the book says that we should study to show ourselves approved, right? That we should search the scriptures day and night, like the Bereans did. They heard the word, but they went back and they searched it out. You know, how many times have you heard your brother say to you, don't take my word for it, go back to the book? Again, there was a lot of confusion with this whole message with Mike Malice with polygamy versus monogamy. And a lot of our sisters were like, well, I think he's right. And my position on it, well, he isn't right. Now, I didn't say that to my sister because I want my sister to believe me over him. I was only saying it to my sister because that's not in the book. So in other words, in order for us not to be confused, we have to study for ourselves. Amen? We have to search for ourselves. That's what Solomon means. He said, trust in Elohim with all your heart. Lean not to your own understanding. In all of your ways, acknowledge him. In other words, go to the book so he can direct your steps. So he can direct your life, is what he's saying. Otherwise, the enemy is going to have charge over you. And we already see what he's capable of doing. He's proven that to us every single day of our lives here in this country under his government system with his wickedness. His and her wickedness. Amen? And their cohorts around the world. So I don't want you to think it's just the European that is taking advantage and hated the people of Elohim. The Asians and all these others, the Africans, many of them, and the South Americans too, the Mexicans, a lot of these people, Canadians, Australians, all over this planet, they have hated the people. In East Indians, even the so-called $5 Indians hate the people of Elohim. Somalians, you name it. When it comes to the people of Elohim, they despise us. They spit in our faces. Because why? The wickedness that's in their hearts and the fact that they have set these snares and traps that we fell into, no fault our own for the most part. Only when we know the truth and continue in that, then we're fully accountable and responsible. And then they have the audacity to shit on us. When they're the ones, you know, who created the stir and the filth in the first place and threw it at us. And then when we eat their filth, eat their vomit, then they have the audacity to call us nasty and unworthy, uncivilized. And unfortunately, you know, some of us have learned to live in the filth, in the vomit, in the mud. And be comfortable there, I might add. It's time to come out. We're out of time. We are out of time, sisters and brothers. Yah said, the day you hear his voice, harden not your heart, as they did when they were in rebellion. Come out of rebellion, brother. Come out of rebellion, sister. Hear, hearken, listen. Yah has a message for you. Turn. Come back to him. He said, you draw close to me, I'll draw close to you. Again, your anxiety, your stress, your worries. Yah says he has the perfect solution to remove all of that. But we'll never know it if we don't trust in him. We don't establish a relationship with him. A continual relationship, I might add. Not a Sunday relationship or a Sabbath day relationship. An everyday relationship. 24/7. In reflection, in meditation, in compliance, in obedience, into loving one another, respecting one another, helping one another, sisters turning back to the brothers, brothers turning back to the sisters, remembering we're one. We come from the same soul, the same bodies, the same breath that was breathed into the nostrils of Adam. That breath was breathed into you when you were in Adam, sister. There's no separation with you and him. It's madness when you embrace separation from your own kind. That is called lunacy. That is craziness. No other nation does that. None of these nations out here. The whites are not going to do it. The Asians aren't going to do it. The Hispanics are not going to do it. The Europeans damn sure not going to do it. None of them are going to hate themselves, their own people. None of them. They know better than that. They know united we stand, divided we fall. And Satan's house is not divided. So they're going to stand together against us because we're divided. Because why? We are out of order. We are in rebellion against Elohim. If you want to see the perfect love and the power of Elohim in your life, we have to turn back to him. Otherwise, we're going to continue in these curses. We're going to continue in the judgment. And these enemies of ours, Yah is destroying them. Oh, yeah. They're going to reap they're already reaping what they sowed. Let me tell you one more thing before I finalize this message. Opioids. Opioid debts. Do you know how many people in America died or overdosed on drugs this past year? I'm talking about 1 year ago to this day. So from July 2020 to July 2021, want to know how many? 100,000 of them died from drug overdoses. And I say them, I'm talking about the enemies of the people of Elohim. 100,000 of them. And every year it's going to get worse. I remember about 3 years ago it was 58,000 of them. So Yah is judging them already. They had better repent. But they won't. Because they're too arrogant. They're too hateful to do it. They hate Elohim. Therefore they hate us, who are made in this image and likeness. So don't expect them to change. Don't expect them to be fair and just. They're not. It's not in them to be fair and just to us. We have to do that for ourselves. Amen? And this voice, this face, this heart is going to be right there with your leaders, as I should be at this stage in my life. Teaching it, living it, and being about it. Okay? Now let me put a smile on my face. All right? Because I don't want you guys to think that I'm angry at us. I'm angry at wickedness. I'm angry at Satan. I'm angry at how he made me feel the last few days with this anxiety. But I praise Yah. And I'm happy to be a man of Yah. I'm happy that my family is being blessed of Yah. I'm happy that those who hear these messages and who are hearkening to these messages, that Yah is starting to touch their hearts, touch their minds, maybe change their ways. I'm happy about that, okay? So that being said, DFG, I love you guys. I hope you share this message if you feel compelled to. I hope you feel compelled to. But if not, all I ask is stay tuned. Keep listening. Keep studying. Keep meditating, reflecting. Keep this. What do they say? You know, there's an old saying, the most deadly weapon on the planet is a black man with a book. Especially when it's his own history book. Women, that included you, by the way. DFG, talk to you later. Bye now.